Morning, guys. This is Michelle coming to you from Belmead/Waco, Texas. Do you guys remember when you could, and I guess you still can, but like nobody ever does anymore. You used to could put notes on Facebook, so it was like a little, I guess, blog type feature that Facebook had that you could put, and I don't see anybody ever doing notes anymore. But you used to, you could publish a little note. And I have a lot of notes that I used to publish, and I was kind of thinking about some stuff the other day. And I work in retail. I have off and on most of my life, and I think it's just, I think everybody should have to work in retail. If you have something that you want to fuss about, if you go to Walmart or Target or Dollar General or anywhere where you're going to go for retail shopping, you should have to live in that situation for at least one shift to see if you're going to complain about people who work in these types of places. And as a manager, I see oh so much stuff, guys. Oh, so much stuff. But anyway, that ties into my topic today, which is I found this note from Facebook from it was about 16 or 17 years ago. That's how long it's been. I was working at Walmart at the time, and my friend Teresa and I kind of co-wrote this together. And so I'm just going to kind of read it to you. I have it pulled up here, so I'm going to look back and forth or whatever, but actually I don't think I'm going to read it. I'm just going to kind of go over like, oh yeah, so it says this here, and like I said, this was 16, 17 years ago. My good friend Teresa helped me write it, and as I read over it, I realized that unfortunately it pretty much still holds true today. So I'm gonna tell you two things. I hope you dig it. I hope you find it as funny as we do from the other side of the retail line. And if you're offended, you got two choices: like me or leave me. I mean, I told you guys this. If you dig me, cool, stick around. If you don't, you don't got to come back. So, Teresa was there when we wrote it, and she kind of helped me with the input. And both worked at Walmart at the time. And basically, the gist of it is there's something about walking into a retail store for a lot of people that takes you from being really, really like a smart, intelligent human being to, I don't know, a zombie. I don't want to say moron because I feel like that's super offensive, but people, shoppers in general, man, just wear out my brain. They wear out my brain. So, like, here's gripe number one: people are not observant. You're standing there, you're obviously in your uniform of whatever store you work in. You have a name tag on, and the customer approaches you and says, "Excuse me, do you work here?" No. "Well, you're wearing a smock." Well, if you knew I worked here, why did you ask me that question? Like, it doesn't, it kind of tickles me. Do you work here? Obviously, I work here. What can I help you with? These are things that you really want to say, but you can't say. You can't say them. I, especially now, like I said, as a member of a management team, certainly can't say them. But I can honestly say that when I was younger and I didn't GAF, I said a lot more than I probably should have, and there were numerous times that I should have been fired from Walmart back in the day. Okay, so yeah, do you work here? The second thing we're gonna touch on is, man, this one's still just, what does Peter Griffin say? He grinds my gears, dude. If you can acquire that basket at the front door, why is it then impossible to return that same basket where you got it from when you're walking right by the basket corral on the way out? Why? Why does there have to be a graveyard full of grocery carts at the registers? It's something that still to this day, oh, I'll just grab them. It's easier to just grab the bags and go. You still got to put the cart up, dude. You know, common sense, guys. Common sense. They don't roll themselves over there. And people, I've actually heard people say, well, you get paid to do that. I might get paid to do that, but let me tell you something. There's this thing called common courtesy. Anyway, topic number 3. How come, and this one isn't as rampant today because, like I said, this is about 17 years ago. So to this day and age, most people carry plastic. They got plastic or green stuff. A lot of people don't really carry checkbooks anymore, but there are a select few. Some of the older generation still prefers to carry a check, and that's great. We'll gladly accept credit, debit, EBT, check, and always cash. But why is it that people who carry checkbooks seem to be incapable of carrying a pen? The thing about that is, when you left your house and you knew you were going to come to whatever your favorite retail store is because you had to get, whatever, tampons and coffee, you knew you were going to have to pay that by writing on a little piece of paper and signing it. So it makes sense to me that if you knew you were going to have to write on it, why would you not carry a pen in the checkbook? It's still a pet peeve, even though very, very, very few people today, I mean, these days, most places don't require you to even sign the check, much less fill it out. But still, if you're going to carry a check, there are places that still you have to write it all out and sign it, okay? If you're going to carry a checkbook, please carry a pen. Because 317 people before you needed a pen, and one of those jackasses took off with it. So, no, I ain't got a pen. I tell you what, I'll give you a pen, and give me a pinprick, and I'll take your blood. But no, you can sign it in blood, because I ain't got no ink pen, dude. Your comrade in arms, check writer, took it 20 minutes ago. Anyway, so that's enough about enough about checks. This is a new one. It's not on the list. I'm going to throw that out there. Why is it so hard for people these days to use the chip reader? You take your little card, you slide it in the bottom, you let go of it. You don't touch it again until the transaction is completely finished. It's like rocket science. What are you doing? Another one that is not on my list from 17 years ago, but it is a new one for me. If you take a card out of your wallet and you slide it through the machine, and you don't tell me if you're using credit, debit, or EBT, especially if you're using EBT, because most people choose credit or debit. I mean, it is what it is, but I've had to use the EBT. There's no shame in it. People will not tell you they're using EBT because they're ashamed to be using food stamps. So you're over here like playing clairvoyant. Ma'am, you didn't tell me it was EBT, and we got to do the whole transaction over. Now you got 37 people behind you pissed off because we got to go through this process again because you're too scared to tell me that you're on food stamps. Guys, it's real simple. And most checkers, and I certainly try to train my cashiers this way, if you are not able to see what they pull out of their wallet, most checkers will say, will that be cash, credit, or EBT? But not all. Again, two sides of the line. Everybody, it is what it is. Everybody do your part. If they don't tell you what it is, ask them. If they don't ask you what it is, tell them, hey, I'm using EBT, so you might hit the food stamp card button. I'm just saying. It's real simple. It's called communication. All right, moving on past these things that weren't even on the list. Here's a good one. We'll go ahead and slide back down here. There were originally 10 points of talking. I think that I've exceeded that by now. Anyway, hey guy, can you please make sure that you have the funds on your credit card, debit card, EBT, gift card, check, or cash before you pile $9,000 worth of crap on the belt or counter so that I don't have to hold up 30 people in my line while you dig out 34 cents, a bunch of lint, and a chewed up piece of gum out your pocket and decide you have to make a trip to your vehicle. It's pretty simple. Go through your open the car door, step out of the car, look in your bag, look in your pocket, look in your wallet, wherever you keep your fundage tool. Make sure you got that stuff with you before you go on a shopping spree and then hold up the line while everybody else is getting madder and madder and you're pulling out a half-chewed Wrigley stick going, I don't have it. I gotta go to my car. I forgot it. You knew you were coming in the store. You knew you were going to buy this stuff. How hard is it to simply make sure you have your funds with you? Oh, this next one. This next one is so much fun. Here's the synopsis. There's a sale going on. Woohoo! We are on sale. That's great. We understand that. But if you're going to take advantage of the sale, that's great. Please be aware of the stipulations and the terms of the sale. I am not giving you a $90 item for the sale price of $15 just because it looks like the $20 item that's actually on sale. Get over it. If you want the sale item, pick up the correct sale item. Don't get to the register and be mad because you picked up an $837 iPhone and think I'm going to give it to you for the $20 cheapy deepy Samsung price. No, it ain't happening, dude. Sorry. Here's a big one. Here's a big one. And it was relevant 17 years ago. It's even more relevant today with the advent of social media and everything else. If you're going to do business with me, get off your damn cell phone. I don't care if little Matt broke his arm or Katie got an A in math. I am trying to process your transaction, and I need to be able to communicate with you in order to prevent any overcharging or misunderstanding. Okay? That's for myself and yourself, because if you're on your phone talking with Johnny about what y'all are going to do on your date tomorrow night and you're not paying attention and I'm not an honest person, man, I could charge you 17 prices and you would never know because you're not paying attention. Guys, this is your money. This is your money. You need to hang up with Johnny or Billy or Katie or Susie or whoever you're talking to. Tell them, I'm in the checkout line. I need to pay attention to the transaction. I will call you back, girl, as soon as I get off in my car. Okay? Okay, click. Seriously, I'm not even joking with you guys. It is so, so important. You know, I see all the time people, oh, I went to Walmart and they overcharged me. Okay, what were you doing? Were you paying attention to what was going on? Because I'll tell you, in all the years that I worked in retail, and I've cashiered a lot over the years, it's real easy to make a mistake. It's real easy to slide something across your scanner and it scanned twice and you not realize it. And if the cashier doesn't realize it, they're not trying to cheat you. It was an honest mistake. But if you're on your cell phone talking to your best friend about this, that, the other, and who's a good kisser and this, that, you're not going to catch it either. You may or may not get to your car and review your receipt. A lot of people don't. Heck, the store I work in now, people say, I don't need the receipt. You can throw it away. And the cashiers do. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I'm more comfortable with you taking your receipt. But you throw your receipt away, I know you're not reviewing it. You got no leg to stand on. If you buy something that doesn't work, you can't bring it back. I mean, if you can bring it back, but you're not Without a receipt, you're not going to get anything for it but store credit or the same exact item that you just bought. If you don't have your receipt, if you don't review your receipt, if Susie Q is checking you out and she accidentally rang up your $40 coffee pot and it scanned twice, and you say, and you're not paying attention, a couple of things could happen in that scenario. A, it might have been an honest mistake, and Susie Q didn't realize it, and she tells you the price, that'll be $932.75, and you're going to whip out your little piece of plastic and zippity-doo-dah, or you're going to whip out your cash and count out $932.75, or whatever the total is, and she's going to take it, and she's going to put it in the till, and then you're going to go, you're not paying no attention? You don't realize you've just been overcharged $40. Now you get out in the parking lot, not only are you not going to review that receipt, you toss that booger in the trash can. Now you're out $40 and you don't know you're out $40 and you ain't never going to know you're out $40. People, pay attention. Get off your phone, get off your whatever device you're on. Pay attention. Now the other thing is, if you're not paying attention, Susie Q actually rings up that coffee pot twice, and it's not an accident. She asks you for whatever the total is, and you hand it to her, and you don't think twice about it, and you get out of the store, and Susie Q maybe not be honest. And as soon as you're out of eyesight, she takes that extra $40 she just charged you and you paid for and slides it in her pocket. Guys, I've seen it happen. Put down the communication device. Pay attention to your money. It's important for your protection and for your cashier's protection, okay? Gone on about cell phones and paying attention long enough. This one's a big one for me. If you require my attention, but I'm helping another customer, please be respectful of that fact and politely wait your turn. I'm only one person, and I can't be in two places at once, and standing there tapping your foot and huffing at me, usually only just going to piss me off and make me go even slower, and that's just the honest truth from a retail worker. We understand you got 37,000 things to do, but here, and this ties into that, although it's not actually part of the topic. I know you're busy. I know you got things to do, but you knew you had to be at the airport in 20 minutes. Did you really, really, really need to stop into the retail store for that one little last pack of sunflower seeds and a Dr. Pepper? No, you didn't. They got that stuff at the airport, and now you've missed your plane because you can't find the right brand of sunflower seeds. That's not my fault, precious. That's not my fault. You budget your time. If you ain't got time to be standing there waiting on somebody to help you, don't come in the store. Because, and especially in some of the smaller retail places, you might go in. For example, I know one retail place that they only maybe have 2 people on shift at any given time. So Susie Q is over there checking out a line full of 37 people, and Bobby D is trying to stock, answer the phones, help customers, grab carts, whatever Bobby Q needs to, Bobby D, whatever his name is, needs to be doing. And then you're mad because another customer asked him a question before you had the chance to answer your question, and that customer was long and involved. Now you're mad. You knew you only had 20 minutes to get to the airport. This is not an emergency on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part. So I'm just telling you, be conscious of your time and be patient, because, retail workers cannot be in 37 places at one time. I mean, if we could clone ourselves, that'd be great, but we still wouldn't do no good, because the companies ain't going to pay all 37 of your persons. They're going to pay you one time. So, last topic on the list. And it kind of goes with it kind of sort of goes with what I was just talking about. And it reads, I'm going to read it exactly to you. I I'm sorry that you had to stand in line. However, you are not the only pebble on the beach, and I really am trying hard to give everyone the exact same amount of time and attention. It's called customer service, and I try to do it very well. I do not think that you need to cuss at me, throw something at me, or anything like that because you're angry that you had to wait. And while I'm on this, I'll lump it together. Hey, guy, if you're in such a tearing ass hurry, why did you wait to come into the store till now? I do not feel that it is my fault that Susie's dance recital starts in 5 minutes and you're standing behind 7 people tapping your foot and doing the crazy person nervous dance, pissed to the gills because you need to pay for Hoboken. Sorry if it sounds insensitive, but maybe you should have started earlier. Just a thought. And that comes back to managing your time, and I'm only one person. So these are my thoughts on shoppers. Like, I don't know what happens to people when they walk into a retail establishment that all of a sudden, I mean, it's not like the intelligence necessarily gets sucked out of them so much as what happens is suddenly when it just seems like when you walk into and I don't mean you personally, I'm just saying when Susie Q Public in general walks into an establishment, their main goal is suddenly I'm the most important person in this store and you better take care of me, period, point blank. Well, look, here's the cold hard facts, boys, girls. We are only one person. We do make mistakes, you know. And if I make a mistake, I tell my customer, you know what, I'm genuinely sorry. I really messed up and I do apologize for that and let me try to fix it for you. But it's not always my fault. Sometimes you got to take the lumps and just admit that the reason you're pissed off is your own damn fault. Let me give you an example. This is years ago, and years ago I was in my early 20s, and I was working for that large, giant mafia retail corporation known as Walmart, and I was working in the toys, and the gentleman that worked in hardware next door to me was on lunch, which means I was not only covering my own department, I was covering hardware as well. So I'm minding my own business, and this gentleman comes and he gets me, hey, can I get your help over here in hardware? Absolutely, sir. I go booking over there, and we're talking just small talk, and as we walk down the aisle, and he says, I appreciate you helping me, but I want to quantify this before I even make the statement. I want you to understand, this man was not messing with my head, was not trying to play a joke. This SOB was dead stone serious. And he says to me, we had kind of walked down an aisle a little bit of a way, and I was kind of leaning on a box that was jutting out of a bottom shelf, and I'm not very tall, so that's not hard for me to do. And I'm leaning on the box and like, well, how can I help you? You know, cutting to the point here. And he says, well, I'm really kind of frustrated. He said, I have been all over this store. I cannot find, do you guys carry wet dry vacs anymore at all? And I looked at this man, and I looked down at the box that I'm leaning on. And I looked back at this man, and I said, no, sir, I don't guess we do. You have a good day now. And I turned my little fat ass around. I went right back to toys, and I probably shoulda, coulda, woulda got fired for that because I was leaning. If you hadn't already guessed the story, I was leaning on a box that contained a brand new Black & Decker wet dry vac. And my thought process at the time was, if you're that stupid, I really can't help you. If you are that stupid, I really can't help you. Probably a little bit wrong attitude to take, but again, I was very young, and I didn't care about things like I do now, but I'm just telling you, if you go into a store, know that if you're mad, it's not always the retail person's fault. Sometimes you just got to look at yourself and go, yeah, I'm a dumbass. Because believe me, I look at myself quite frequently and go, yeah, I'm a dumbass. So please, nobody take offense at this. You know the story, love me or leave me. It don't matter. You can thumb it up, you can thumb it down. It's all in how you look at it. I'm going to sign off. Have a good day.